Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. And this is the space for us to be who we are, no matter who that happens to be today. And I'm saying that because I know I have kind of played around with some intros lately, and I still don't feel married to anything at this point. So I'm just going to let it be what it is today. Today is the Monday Magic Intuitive Energy Reading, as you know, my favorite day of the week. When you are no longer trapped in the paycheck trap, you get to enjoy what you do and love the first day of the week. And it's funny because by Sunday night, I'm actually itching to go back to work instead of having that sinking feeling in my stomach, realizing, oh, the weekend is over and I have to go back to work to a job that I hate. So anyways, Monday Magic Intuitive Energy Reading. I am coming to you from up north. We have a bee visiting us, so we're just going to let him be what he is as well. I am in the northern woods of Wisconsin, not my typical spot, but wanted to bring you some beautiful nature and share with you what the energy has been like in the past week for me and what I am sensing we are being called to, and the advice that we are being offered on how to proceed, move forward, and best navigate this energy. So it still continues to be, this is week 3 of more challenged energy. I don't ever want to say it's difficult or hard or heavy. Sometimes it can feel more dense. It can be more difficult or challenging to transmute. And that has continued with some reprieve this past week. And I love the community, our new Earth Construction Team community. We were having a discussion around the sandpapery feel. Last week I used the analogy of a knife that's being sharpened. This week has felt a little bit more like a pressure cooker, right? More like the pressure that a diamond is exposed to when it is developing into the beautiful stone and rare gem that it will be. It doesn't feel painful necessarily or frustrating like it has been. It's more so now just the uncertainty of what this has just created for us, that there was some pretty beautiful, I'm referencing some notes here, so just bear with me. There was some pretty beautiful energy on 7-7, and I feel like that, you can call it a portal, whatever you want. That energy was very helpful in bringing through the reminder of hope and just even some rewards, some clarity around what has been being asked for. That sometimes when we can feel like we're being pressed or what comes to mind is sort of navigating a very narrow pathway where we have to shed any additional baggage. If we have big backpacks on and we can't fit through this narrow pathway, we're going to have to really get clear on what's extremely important. What do I have to carry forward with me, and what can I let go of? What is it time to do away with, right? We always talk about letting go of the things that no longer serve you, and sometimes that phrase or that languaging can get tired or boring, but it's still true. It's still true that we are in this constant process of chipping away what is no longer needed and getting down to the bare bones. The absolute highest priorities become more clear in these processes. I think we gained a little bit more clarity on 7-7. It's not 100% clear just yet. There's still the uncertainty of exactly what it will look like, exactly where we're moving towards, exactly what we're letting go of. I think reminds me of walking in fog, right? We can generally see sort of what the next step is, but we can't see beyond that. It reminds me of a time where I was trying to fly home from a business trip, and all these planes were grounded because of the fog. And I was grounded in Ohio and living in Chicago at the time. I think it was like Cincinnati, and that's not a very long drive. And I wanted to get home so bad. I had been gone for a long time. At the time, I just had my oldest son, and I wanted to be with him. And so I rented a car and drove through this crazy fog that planes were not even flying through. And what I did to get home, if anybody knows Illinois and that drive, it is a very straight drive, so it's not treacherous or dangerous. So I was able to use the GPS system as much or more so than looking out the window. And all I could see is the next stretch of road is perfectly straight, right? And maybe there would be a curve here or there, and the GPS would help me navigate that. But all I could see was what was fitting on the screen, right? The next stretch of road that was perfectly straight. And that's kind of what it feels like right now, is all we can see is those next couple right steps, maybe one or two even. And to take that next right step is going to lead us to the next right step. And having that faith and trust to keep stepping, because clarity comes through action. It does not come through thought alone. In fact, that hamster wheel of the thoughts that go round and round often just torture us. The monkey mind is incessant, especially for those of us who experience trauma. So it can be really important to remember to get out of the mind, be in the body, and allow, hopefully the wind is not bothering the sound too much, but allow the process to unfold as it seems necessary. It's also helpful to point out too that Mercury has been cazimi, which basically means, from our standpoint on Earth, the Sun and Mercury have aligned, which the Sun, being this big ball of fire, tends to burn out whatever planet it is cazimi with. And so what that means is Mercury is thought and thinking and clarity and direction and communication and things of that nature. When it is cazimi, the Sun overpowers Mercury, and so we don't feel the influences of Mercury as much as we typically would. So that can cause this feeling of a lack of clarity and uncertainty and just not really sure where we're going or what we're doing. But again, in this lack of clarity, there has been a benefit because it has brought about the need to reevaluate. It reminds me of sifting for gold. When you're in the river and you... Hi, sorry about that. I got cut off because I am running out of disk space, so I'm going to have to make this quicker than I would have liked. But what I was explaining was we are sifting for gold. So when we're sifting for gold, we're using this tray that has holes in it, and we're shaking out all of the other crap that doesn't lead to gold, doesn't lead to abundance. And that's really what this pressure challenge feels like. And it's not necessarily terrible once we realize, oh, this is the thing I'm being asked to let go of. I can do that. That's no big deal. This really actually isn't making me happy. And oh, this other thing that would make me happy would probably be a whole lot better. So we're reaffirming our commitments to things that truly matter and letting go of the things that don't serve us, don't make us happy, don't bring us joy, don't allow us to raise our vibration. Right? That also causes us to redefine what matters to us. We even get to is a perfect way to say that. We get to look at what do I deserve? What makes me happy? What's really good for me? And what do I want to bring more of in? And in that redefining, we actually have new boundaries. Our boundaries are actually better for us, maybe even more enjoyable, where we get to say, you know what? I think I've done enough free sessions for a while. I think because I'm booked out until September and it's starting to consume a lot of my energy, I think it might be time to dial back on that, right? So maybe all of the teaching and talking head videos are sufficient. Maybe I've done enough of those for a while. Maybe, I really like to play. I really like the vlog style stuff. Maybe I want to show you more of my life. Maybe I want to get out and go hiking and rock climbing and do all sorts of other fun things, and I could take you along on that journey, and that would nourish me as much as it would you, right? So you can see the process of maybe letting go of a few things, bringing in a few new things, and how it's a I get to do this. I deserve to do that, right? I deserve to enjoy my work even more, to have even greater boundaries, to take the vibration to an even higher level, right? And so it's a greater reclamation of our power, to recognize, yes, I was the one who held the control to say when we do these things and when we don't, and when we stop and when we bring in more things that we love. And I'm also the barrier and the block to bringing those things in if I think that I can't do that or I shouldn't do that, right? And we should all over ourselves, right? So it's taking responsibility for where we are, and it doesn't have to come from an uncomfortable place where we are, talking negative to ourselves or beating ourselves up over the past. No, it is what it is. And yeah, I enjoyed that, and I gave it a try, and I tested it out, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. And it's not that it didn't even work. It's just, it's done now, and that's okay. Right? So we get to change. We get to reclaim our power. We get to change what we want to change. We get to move towards what we want to move towards. We get to let go of what we are done with. And it's also, I think, the guidance that's really, really strongly coming through is that remembering that connection is key. That we are not made to do this alone, that we have to have the mirror of the other. That I can sit and ponder this all day long, getting stuck in the monkey mind, and then I can call my best friend Carrie and have a 30-minute conversation, and all of these light bulbs go off, and we go, oh, that's what it is. Oh, this is where I need to go. It all makes sense now. Right? And so just remembering that we learn through the mirror of the other. We have to have that mirror to help us see the things that our monkey mind wants to go round and round about, we will never be able to find because they are in our blind spot. We have to have that mirror of the other to help us find that. And sometimes it does require vulnerability too, to be able to say, I'm not loving this right now. To be able to say, I think I need to shift and change something. To some people that will seem like, failure, or weakness, or I'm showing an area or a spot where I could get hurt if this person doesn't respond appropriately. And you're right. You have to have the boundary to know who you can speak to, and you have to work your way slowly into that relationship to know that you have that level of trust with them so that you can be that open and honest and vulnerable. But you have to have someone that you could be vulnerable with like that, because that's where you start to heal the relational wounds that most of us are experiencing right now. The vast majority of the world is demonstrating trauma responses. Whether or not you feel like you've officially experienced trauma, it doesn't matter. It can come from conditioning and programming. It can come from marketing. It can come from consumerism, all these different things. And what it does, because it is a relational wound, it causes us to withdraw, to shrink back, to play small, to hide, to go into hermit mode. And so relationships are key for healing. Connection is key for healing. When we are vulnerable with someone, when we connect with someone and we open up and say, this is what I'm experiencing, not only do we allow the mirror to help us see where we need to shift and change and where we need to go, but we also heal through creating healthy attachment and attunement. We heal the relational wound that was the problem in the first place. Right? So just remember, ideas cannot grow unless they are shared, which means that you can go round and round in your hamster wheel all day long and not make progress. But as soon as you share your idea with someone, or you start to be of service and you start to give your gift, it will grow. The only way it will grow is through using it and sharing it and speaking about it with people you can trust, who are not going to hurt you or cause you to feel bad about that or somehow stop the progress. Just remember, your purpose cannot grow without somatic healing therapy and block removal, because when we press down all of these beliefs, the conditioning, the programming, the subconscious beliefs of, I'm not enough, or the world is not enough, or people are not safe, or whatever it is, you're pressing all of this down inside your body. The body keeps the score. And at the very bottom of that pile is who you are and what you need, the very two things that are necessary to understand, to explore, and to grow, to find your purpose, right? So reach out and touch someone is something that came through. I think that'll probably be the title for today. Remembering that trauma is a relational wound. Whether or not you call it trauma, you can call it conditioning and programming. The key to healing a relational wound is relationship, which is why you cannot heal alone in isolation. Healthy connection and attachment reprograms the limiting subconscious beliefs. Again, healing the trauma, getting it up and out of your body, and allowing you to start to share from a place of strength and not fear, and recognizing vulnerability as a good thing. Vulnerability is an opportunity for intimacy. Into me I see, both you and the other person. So remember that. Collaboration is key. Eyes on the divine. Be open to redirection, right? That's that sifting for gold. Let life take what is meant to be taken, and let life bring in what is meant to be given. And then just hold the light. Remember to hold the faith. Trust that it is going to work out. Life is always happening for you and not to you. And at the end of this, we will come out diamonds on the other side. All right, we made it. It didn't shut down again, and my kiddos were very kind to float in on their wave runner. The jet ski can be pretty loud, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed week. Take care. Namaste.